Alrighty then. So, first things first. We shall do the recap of last session. As Bryn was left reveling in the information dealt to her by the note of her task that she must do by the end of tonight, she meets back up with her group and relays what information that she can. The group deliberates for a few moments, trying to figure out the best way to go about their new task. Ultimately, coming on to splitting up the group, as this group is so keen on doing, and searching for an establishment sign or some way of understanding where or what the Green Genie might be. As the groups split off, neither really had much luck. They know that they need to finish the task by the end of the night, and so their time frame is shorter. With time ticking by, they ended up meeting back at the Lazy Pillow. There, Kaporin rushed inside in front of Nori to talk to the disembodied voices, asking about the Grim Genie in particular. A rather unsettling disembodied voice called to him and told him to find the Grim Genie to go to the northeastern side of town. And you'll either need to be a wealthy onlooker or a contestant. Or participant, sorry. With this information, and as the rest of the group slowly made their way back, with Richaw taking a little bit longer as he did his Richaw thing, ultimately the group gathering together, they all decided to go to this location. Noticing that it is very much recognizable once gotten up to. Richaw was gifted with flight, invisibility, and other manners of nefariousness, and with his particular attitude, took this upon himself to try and coax the guard, the Goliath guard, out front into some shenanigans. Not taking the bait on most of these things, Kaporin eventually went up to the guard, asking what exactly is the amount of money that is needed to enter. With the information that 100 mithril pieces is the ongoing entry for any onlookers, Kaporin made his way back to what was left of the group, minus Saren, because Saren decided to not get involved. They found out that it was indeed a fight club, and with this, Bryn would go under the guise of being a contestant. The contestant price fee being 100 platinum pieces alone. But the rest of the group was also allowed entry as well into the Grim Genie. Nori transformed into a mouse and hid in the pockets of different members, but as they passed through the threshold of the courtyard and past the two first white pillars that marked the courtyard entranceway towards the building, Nori was catapulted out of her form as an anti-magic barrier that they passed through, immediately reverted her wild-shaping ability. With her being locked in, they quickly talked to the Goliath guard, saying, "Oh, it's not a problem," and they weren't seemingly too behested by this situation, letting them know that no magic is going to work inside. With this, the group marched their way into the building, and Bryn and the rest of them were led up to... first, they were told up front that she would be contestant number 5, and that they were led up to the second floor. Go down the hallway and find the room that has the number 5 on it. She did so, and they all entered this quaint little space to get her prepped and ready. With some help from probably Nori, being the only other female here, Bryn got readied with different sort of martial wrappings and everything that she might need for the scuffle that she's about to get in, since no weapons, armor, or magic was allowed. Rachaw cased the joint, making sure of all the exits and entrances that he could get around to, and As the festivities started, there was a battle before brims, in which the group went into the stands and onlooked as a small, blue skinned individual ended up taking down a Goliath of a man with an execution. And that's when you all realized that you could die here. This then prompted the blue skinned individual to go into the new opened triage area, which Racha checked out. At this time, Bryn was up next, and she was gathered around through the back entrance, back hallway, I should say, and taken to the stage and introduced as Brynhilde, the Valkyrie. Next, her opponent was introduced, a Duergar, by the name of... I knew I forgot a tab.
Just lets me stew in my nervousness longer. It's fine.
By the name of Namdid Metalax, a portly, stout but thick, 4'2" Duergar, gray-skinned dwarf, as he stands opposite you. The announcer moves in between you, tells you that this is till incapacitation or execution, and the battle is about to begin. Now, for everyone who ends up watching, and for those not specifically involved, I've been in contact with Bryn a little bit to give her some information on how this is all going to go down, but I'll also delve it out to you all here. This is no armor, no weapons, and no magic, but class and racial traits are available. Obviously, if the racial or class traits are magical, then they're not going to be available. But things for barbarians, fighters, some paladins, some cleric, those like more martial traits are available. The way it's going to work is there's going to be an initial initiative roll. And this will dictate who goes first, who makes the first move. But as battle goes on, I'm going to try to be as detailed as possible in giving stance and how the person's looking. As much as Bryn wants to get involved with picking the exact moves, she can. If she wants to be as generic as possible, she can as well. If she's like, I want to hit him, okay. But if she goes, I want to aim for his left jugular with a knife hand strike, I'll be like, okay, his AC is going to raise up for getting that specific hit. But if she does so, she inflicts more precise or more damage, or it'll have an effect that could be beneficial to her. Nat 20s and critical ones are going to play an effect. This is competition-based style of bracketing, so there are going to be multiple rounds. With this, if she ends up getting critted on or doing a critical failure, she could end up damaging a hand, dislocating an arm, something that might carry over into consecutive rounds. But she can also do things like if she critical hits, she could stun the individual for a round or make him fall prone, or there's going to be more into it since it's a one-on-one actual battle. It's not just going to be like, okay, I do my 2 attacks. Okay, he does his attacks. Okay, it's trying to get it more actually involved as possible. So, with that, Brynhilde.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you ready?
Absolutely not, but let's do it. Yeah.
I would like for you to roll initiative. As the announcer steps in between you, lets you know this is to incapacitation or execution, let the battle begin. And he steps away. You both take your initial step forward, but the dwarf seems to lag behind a little bit, never fighting a Valkyrie before. He's a little hesitant, and it allows you to go first.
All right. She's going to kick Sand up to try to blind him first.
Okay.
Um,
Do a dexterity check for me.
what was that?
Dexterity check. You try kicking sand in his face, but with his height being a little not what you're used to in fighting, you kind of kick it way too high and it just goes over his head.
All right. The next attack. It's going to take me a minute to get into this. We're just going to try to punch him, I guess. It's going to take a minute for me to get used to it.
Not a problem. Go ahead and roll the hit. That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, that ends your turn. Does that end your turn?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
All right. So as you reach forward and kind of after kicking the sand and he ducks underneath it a little bit, you push through the sand, clocking him alongside the jaw. He, from your angle going down, he kind of like pushes him back down into himself and he takes the hits. He's going to go ahead and attempt to grapple before you can pull your hand away. So it's a either an acrobatics or an athletics check. With that, after you punch, before you can, because you're punching down, it's a little bit more of a weird angle to hit. And so you're not used to having to pull your body weight out. But he uses your momentum from the punch and he grabs your wrist before you can snap it back. He steps forward and underneath in between your legs, and he's going to try to yank your arm directly down. Go ahead and make a strength check for me. As he darts in between your legs and pulls down on one arm, he shoves his other arm into like your armpit area and tries to use what portion of his body that can make contact with yours as a lifting device, and you end up going flying through the air until he takes your hand, or the hand that's around your wrist, and drives it down to the ground, slamming your elbow, or not your elbow, your shoulder, into the ground. You are currently prone. And you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from that. Your turn.
So he's
He's currently above you. You're lying prone. He let go of your hand, and he's currently standing in front of you, ready for you to get up, but he's just standing there.
not near my feet.
No, he's closer to your arms.
Okay. She's going to attempt to grab at his ankle to yank him out from underneath himself to hopefully get him prone.
Okay, go ahead and roll athletics. All right, so you reach out and grab his ankle with your hand, and you successfully do so.
All right.
If
So
you want to
then
try, if you want to try and flip him up, that'll be a strength check.
flip him up, like to get him on the floor.
Yeah, to make him trip.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
All right, strength. So you grab his ankle and you go to lift him up, but man, this dude is a lot heavier than you thought he was. He kind of plants all of his weight down on the foot that you grab, and though you try and yank your arm up to get him out of there, he's standing solid.
All right. So I still have one attack, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure. All right. She's gonna attempt to get up, knowing it's gonna he's gonna have a chance to get her, but she needs to get up so she can try to attack him.
Okay, yeah, he's going to take the moment of you trying to get up to hit. That's going to be only a... Oh, okay. That's a 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's 5 points of bludgeoning damage. As you kind of like roll to get away, he just takes the moment to give you a nice little kidney shot.
Alright, but am I able to get up?
Yep.
And
Yeah, you're able to get up.
She's gonna get up and try to kick him in the side.
All right, roll the hit. That hits.
Oh yeah, do I still crit on the 19s?
Is that one of your abilities? Or your traits?
Oh, it was non-natural. Never mind. Sorry. Well, yeah, I don't know. No, it's non-natural, so. Sorry, I got confused.
So is that a yes or a no?
As a no.
She can crit on a 19, but that is not a natural 19.
Gotcha. All right. That end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So you roundhouse kick him in the side, and he kind of like doesn't get his elbow down to block it fast enough. So you make nice contact, and you pull your leg back, and you guys are both in fighting stance, ready to continue on. He's gonna barrel forward. Okay. He's gonna kind of shuffle, close the gap between the two of you and try and use his shortness to get, underneath your guard. And he's going to take 2 shots to the inside of your left leg. First one's an 18. Second one is a 12.
12 is my armor class.
All right. That is 8 points of bludgeoning damage altogether. So he just puts 2, he closes the gap, gets underneath your guard, and just pop directly into your right thigh. And pretty sore, but he recognizes that it didn't take your leg out, so he kind of stays with going from underneath your guard before you can come down on him. He's going to kind of roll to the outside, and he's still right next to you, but he's no longer directly underneath you. He's to your right side.
Directly next to me, or a little far,
Yeah.
a little behind?
No, directly next to you.
Right. She's going to swing around, trying to get him in the face with her fist first.
All right. With him being too small, he's just not used to the height difference yet, and it just whiffs right, just grazing the top of his head.
And then using the momentum of her turning, she's going to try to then kick with her other leg as she pivots around.
Go for it. As you use the momentum and spin, you realize, oh, I'm not used to doing this without armor. Armor usually slows me down, and you end up over-kicking and sort of toppling a little bit. You keep your feet, and you haven't fallen prone or anything, but by the time this is going to end your turn, by the time you get your footing done, he's directly behind you. So on his turn, he's going to use his advantage, which, if you're able to get behind your opponent, you have advantage on all hits.
Would he still, even though I have blind sight?
Yeah, you have blind sight. You know he's there. It's just you can't do anything about it. He's literally behind you.
Gotcha.
The first one's a 20 to hit. Not natural, but... And the second one is natural 20.
Wonderful.
So, he... With your back to him now, he's going to do a little run, like little stutter step to close the distance. He doesn't have very long arms. And he's just going to take that right kidney and just sucker punch it twice. The first one hurts. It's that second one that just, the shearing pain from that. It's going to end up being 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alrighty. So she's probably toppled over just a little bit.
With the impact, you kind of would stumble off to the side, not giving him your back anymore, but not getting out of his range. So no opportunity attacks, but he put a sting to you.
She's gonna try to use her height to her advantage, hopefully at this point, by grabbing like around his neck to try to knee him in the face.
All right, go for it. It's just not your night with these rolls.
God, I was so worried. This makes it so much worse.
You go to reach out with your hands to grab him and bring him in for a knee strike. You're able to get your fingers behind his head, but as you go for the knee, again, the height difference just being a little too much for you to overcome, he slips beneath it, and as your knee goes up, it just catches air. That's going to give him the opening to slide himself underneath your leg that's now in the air from the knee, and he's going to try and throw you down into the ground. I need a athletics or acrobatics check from you. So he goes to try to do this, but you weigh a little bit more than he was expecting, and he's not able to get you all the way up. And as he tries to do so, he ends up slipping and falling to the ground, so he's now prone in front of you.
She's going to... Is her leg still in the area?
Well, now it's down.
Okay. Is he facing me or facing the ground?
He's facing up, yeah. Think of like banana peel. He slipped and fell on his back. He rolled a nat 1.
Okay. We're gonna jump on top of him, so hopefully he doesn't get up, and I guess grapple him with one hand and punch him in the face with the other.
Okay, we'll do the grapple first.
And that's strength.
Athletics for you.
For God's sakes.
It's alright, he rolled a natural 1.
Well, it looks like the tides are turning just a bit.
So you got him by the throat. And you're going to go ahead and punch him, so go ahead and roll an attack. You get advantage on this since he rolled that 1.
Because the grapple would be one attack, right?
Yeah, something like a grapple I'm considering like a bonus action.
Okay, so I get 2 attacks still.
So you can attack, yeah.
Oh, fun, okay.
And you get advantage on it still. There you go. So that'd be 8 points of bludgeoning on that one.
And we're just gonna stay there, hoping that he has a hard time getting up.
All right. Well, with you holding him by the throat, him getting popped in the face twice. Okay, he is going to. He's going to clasp his hands together over the arm that you currently have on his neck, and he's going to try and drive his clasped hands down on the bend in your elbow to try and get you to release. Go ahead and make just a strength check for me.
These haven't been doing too well.
He's able to break your grasp. So with this, he drives his hands down, and it's just too much for your arm to continue holding, so you kind of let go, and the arm kind of slides away. That one would be considered an attack, though. And he's going to try and drive his knee up your groin. That is a 25 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
Damn. That's 4 points of bludgeoning damage. Not enough to move you, but definitely hurt. But you're still on top of him. He's technically grappled and restrained, so... Oh, no, he's restrained. He's not grappled. Because he's got a giant 6-foot Valkyrie on him.
Alright, we're just gonna keep punching him in the face, I guess.
Okay, they're no longer with advantage.
Okay.
That hits. That hits as well. Alright, that is your turn.
Yeah. Well, actually, you said the grapple was a bonus action?
Yeah.
You've done it at the beginning. Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
Sorry, I let end something.
No worries. So, with him starting to get destroyed on the floor here, he's going to take both of his elbows and try and drive them into each of your thighs. Actually, no. He knows he... Yeah. He's going to drive them into each of your thighs. If you've ever been in this position, it fucking hurts like hell. It is a 23 to hit. So that's 4 points of damage. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Alright. Though the pain is intense, you are able to lock it down and keep yourself on top of him. So with that, he is going to... Yeah, he's going just to straight up punch you in the gut. With only an 11 to hit.
Oh, it misses.
Alright, he can't go anywhere. Your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna grapple him again at the start since it's a bonus action, and then...
Athletics.
Okay. And then hit him twice.
He got a 25, so he is not grappled.
Alright, well, we'll still hit him twice.
Go for it. As you kind of reach down to try and grab him, he just swats your hand away. The first impact does hit. The second one hits as well.
And then she's gonna end her turn. She's making progress down here. Actually, oh yeah, no, she tried to grapple him, so no bonus action, or no more bonus actions.
Yeah. All right. He's gonna take the dodge action. So he's gonna put his arms up in front of him, waiting for your next 2 hits to come, and he's just going to be trying to deflect and dodge them. Your turn.
He's so he's protecting his face right now.
Well, he's pretty much all that's on that you can see right now is like his face and a little bit of his upper chest. He's got his arms up to block whatever you got coming in at him next. Because he's so short, basically you sitting on top of him takes up more than half of his body.
Okay. Yeah, we'll still try to. Yeah, we'll still try to punch him. What does that mean, though, that he's dodging?
Disadvantage. An 8 does not hit. Neither does a 10.
Darn, it worked. And then, no, yeah, we'll end the turn there.
Okay. So, after swinging down twice, trying to connect with his head, his hands up, he kind of blocks the first one and just parries the second one out of the way, and you're just kind of striking air. He is going to try and twist his lower half of his body underneath you and try and scoot out underneath behind you. Go ahead and give me... This will be an athletics check from you with advantage. Ooh, luckily you had that second one. So he tries to twist and get himself out from underneath you, and it just doesn't work. So he's just going to take 2 pot shots at that right thigh again. So the first one's a 25. Second one's an 18. So it's 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And that'll end his turn.
So he's still there. Since he turned...
He tried turning. You locked him down. He wasn't able to move.
Okay. We're going to try to grapple him first again.
Okay. Athletics. Alright, you have grappled him. You reach down and grab him by the throat again.
And we're going to try to hit him twice again. And that's advantage, correct?
Yes. Both hit.
Then she's going to end her turn there.
Alright. He's going to try breaking your grapple one more time, so just athletics check from you.
I don't know why I forgot to turn off advantage, but I guess it didn't matter. Sorry.
Alright, so he's able to break your grapple once more. And... he's in a shitty spot, but he doesn't know how to get up.
Got a whole lot of women on top of him.
Yep. Okay, he's going to try and slide a knee up in between you and him. He's going to have disadvantage on this. Go ahead and give me either athletics or acrobatics. Actually, for you, it'd be athletics. Oh. Okay, so he's able to get his knee up underneath. So with this, he's going to do basically a shove attack. That is a 14 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, this gets you off of him. It doesn't do any damage, but it gets you off. So he's able to kind of like kick you off of him a couple feet just to give him enough time to kind of get himself up, so he's no longer prone. Okay, and with that, he's got to take an attack with a second action.
Since he shoved me back, would I get an attack of opportunity or anything like that?
No. If you're the one getting pushed away or something like that, you can't. You have no momentum to do an attack because your momentum is going all in the opposite direction.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Not a problem. But with that, that's a 23 to hit
Yep.
and 4 points of bludgeoning.
From the stands, can we tell how badly they're looking?
Make a perception check.
Can we all do that?
Sure.
Thank you, Racha.
It's getting down to the wire. Probably for both.
Go, Bryn, go!
All right, Bryn, your turn. You guys are both currently standing.
All right. She's going to. God, I hope it works this time. Go up and just kick him straight in the chest.
Okay, go ahead and roll. That works.
Hey, the height finally didn't make a difference. And then, can she do that again? Would that even be possible?
Yeah. You basically kick the person in the chest. They move back a little bit. You step and kick with the other leg.
I will do that then.
Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, Bryn's the kid that sits in the corner just pressing one button over and over again. That hits. All right.
If he lands,
God, I don't want to use it already, but would she be able to tell how he's doing, or no? Or would that have to be like something I do instead of an attack?
Yeah, that would have to swap out your bonus action for. Or you haven't used your bonus action. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
No, we're not gonna do that. She's going to bonus action second wind.
Okay. You take the momentary pause that you've gained yourself from the two kick attacks to kind of push some distance between you two and take the deep, invigorating breath. That ends your turn?
Yes.
All right. He's going to wildly run up to you and flail about. Going at your legs as they're the easier targets for him. First one being a 13 to hit. Both are actually 13s to hit.
That's very rude of him.
For 8 points of damage. But that'll end his turn.
Alright, we're gonna, since he's so close, we're gonna try to grapple by wrapping arms around his head again.
Okay. It's athletics from you. He's able to, at the last moment, kind of lazily duck your arms as you reach out to grab his neck.
Alright, since that didn't work, she will. Alright, so we're just gonna try to punch him twice.
Go for it. After he kind of like ducks your hands, you see him kind of swaying left to right a little bit, and he's taking long blinks, and you kind of time it in between one of his blinks to just jump in and crack, crack to the head, and the second hit kind of sends him with a little twirl around before slamming onto the ground, snoring heavily with blood and mucus sort of spitting out as he's breathing. Unmoving besides the slow rise and fall of his chest, and the announcer comes up and calls, "First victory, Brynhilda the Valkyrie."
Holy shit, I thought I was gonna die that whole time. That's fine. Oh, okay.
A slight eruption from the stands, especially from your compatriots, and a few boos come from different corners, people that have bet opposite of you. But with that, another dwarven man comes up onto the stage and starts dragging his buddy off. And the announcer kind of gestures over towards the triage tents for you to go and receive healing, as the other dwarven guy has Namdid over his shoulder and is slowly hobbling in that direction as well.
Alright, she's gonna walk over there.
Can the three of us also head down to the triage?
You can certainly try.
Kaporn is gonna suggest to the other two that we head down to the triage to meet Bryn.
Racha's already moving that direction.
Kaporn grabs Nori and let's go!
Nori doesn't have time to process before she's dragged.
Wile E. Coyote status. So, as Bryn has much more of a head start to it than you guys, she's in there by the time you guys get down there. There is a cleric that is tending to Bryn as well as the other Durgar. But there's a third cleric that, as all three of you rush to the entrance, a slender, blue-skinned woman kind of rushes forward and goes, I'm sorry, but you please must leave them alone. No interference between matches."
Understandable. We just wanted to make sure she's all right.
I'm sure she'll be fine. We are taking care of her, and she is in the best hands.
Thank you.
My bird friend, our bird friend here is also just very close to her. Is he able just to get a quick nuzzle in just to make sure?
But that seems quite odd. She turns to you, Bryn. Which one is your coordinator?
The bird.
Very well. The bird can have entrance. The rest of you must leave.
Fine. Racha, make sure she's okay. And Kaporn will turn around and walk the other way.
She allows you through, Richard.
He's gonna head in and sort of sit down next to Bryn and like check her over and look and see if everything's all right. Nothing too horrible or untreatable.
Okay. For the most part, she seems to be fine. Bumps, bruises, and a little bit of bleeding, but that's to be expected.
what sort of um, magic is happening to help her? I guess is
Um, she's being given a couple of health potions here and there. By the way, Bryn, like we talked about, you'll be back to full health by the time you leave here. You don't regain any of your things that require short or long rests, but you'll at least be at full health again. Um, as far as healing goes, though, she's been given health potions and she is getting some clerical healing. By the time that she's done, there is no bleeding, there's no open cuts, and there's still bruises, but nothing weeping, seeping, or torn open.
uh, while he's in there, can he try to reach into the bag of holding? He's sort of like taking a guess that because they're able to do magic, he might be able to reach into it.
Yeah, you reach into the bag of holding, and it's just a regular bag.
All right, no worries. He's gonna like fumble around in it like he's doing something, because he's clearly trying to do something else, but he's playing it off like he's doing something, and he's gonna pull out the vial of yellow paint, and he's gonna put a couple of dashes on her face like it's war paint.
All right.
The real reason why he wanted to go in there was to check if he could get into his bag or not, and that was
I know.
like he was. That's him playing off that he couldn't do it. So he'll back off after that.
So, Bryn, you are newly adorned with yellow war paint.
I'm sure it goes great with the tattoo runes I have.
It looks like whiskers.
Love it.
I was imagining like one down her forehead, like straight in the middle of her forehead, and then two on both sides.
From far away, it's whiskers. So, not but a few moments, a couple minutes, are needed in the triage tent before you are back to full health, and another fight has started. You aren't allowed to stay and watch any of the other fights as soon as you're ready to go. When you try to leave the triage tent, you'll get redirected back through the hallway up to your waiting room. But this is also a time where the others can go and talk to you if they want to, or anyone can do whatever they'd like, but there's currently another match going on.
What does the second floor look like right now? Because she's up in the second floor room.
If that's where if she tries to leave, that's where she'll get redirected to. The second floor that you guys have access to is just a hallway with 12 rooms.
Is there any guards or anything in this direction?
Not on the second floor, no.
I don't remember what the layout of the building is enough to.
Front door, off to the left, is the relaxing room. Straight ahead is the staircase up to the second floor for the contestants. Behind that is a hallway that connects to the far back right bar and triage area. But from the front door, directly to your right, is the circle pit with the stands around it. That's all you guys have been able to investigate or see.
And is there a gap between like the courtyard and the or like the gate entrance and the anti-magic zone, or no?
Oh, the one that you guys walked through? Yeah, it's about 10 feet.
Gotcha. Well, if the other two join me as well in the room with Bryn, Rachaw's going to be doing something that I'm going to message you about, but hopefully nobody asks me what I'm doing.
I think they've all learned not to ask what Richaw's doing.
Well, we freaking can't because he's so damn stealthy.
Yes.
By the time we reach the room, he's probably disappears like behind her back. We're like, we just walked up the damn stairs. Where the hell did he go?
Exactly.
Just like, how are you doing this? This shouldn't be a thing that should happen.
But in the end, Nori and Kaporan make it up to the room and having a conversation with Bryn as she lets out all of her stress from the first fight.
I do want to ask Bryn something that I'm curious about. Bryn, you gave an interesting reaction when they commented on you being a Valkyrie. Is that something people aren't supposed to know?
You could say it's kind of like Valkyries are a folk tale, I suppose. Not many people know about them. Apparently, a lot of people I run into do, though. It's more of a tale that people kind of think is not true.
What do you... I don't think I've heard this.
Hold on, now I need to get my freaking notes out.
Maybe they called you Viking because you have all of those runes you called them on you.
Oh no, they've definitely said Valkyrie. I don't know. It's when we do go out, we get confused as humans, as most people in City have done. It's not like we go out of our way to really say who we are. Though if they do know us, I think most people tend to respect us and almost admire sometimes.
I just thought it was interesting.
Yes, the fact that your brother actually has been in my hometown is quite interesting, to say the least.
It seems as though he has been many places. I do have... If things really go south, I do have something to help. But that's only if things really go south. But I think you can do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've spent the only non-magical magical thing I could do in that last fight.
It's very, very frustrating not having magic.
Yes and no. It leads it to be a little simpler, I suppose.
It makes things simple, but it also takes away some of the only ways I can help, which is increasingly frustrating as we travel.
Honestly, the way you guys could help is just getting the other job done.
It's very true. But on that, it would be more of Racha. I look over at Racha. Do I see what he's doing?
Nope.
Did he just disappear?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Oh, wonderful.
Well, it's Racha. That's pretty much always a not yet.
You know, you're absolutely right about that. Well, what?
Just every time.
We're just seeing him over there tinkering with something. We're just like, what the hell is going on?
I mean, you can move forward and try and see if you guys want.
Yeah, I'm gonna move forward and look at whatever the hell Racha is doing.
Alright, make a stealth check. So you go ahead.
I thought it was my stealth check.
No, it was her stealth check to get past your passive perception to see if you notice her creeping up to you.
Because Nori has the second highest stealth of the party.
He's just doodling on a piece of paper.
Make a perception check, Nori.
$22.
So you see him have two different sets of paper, and one of the pieces of paper has a very scrawly, ugly signature on it. And on the other piece of paper that he's currently writing on, well, I'll let you say what you were writing on it.
Basically, he's rewritten the signature of the autograph that he found, and he's made it a little neater so it's not like he's had brain damage, but as well as it's got the instructions we had been given by Bryn about what we're doing tonight, and also that Barnabas was the one that set him up to do it.
I think I'm going to give Richard a taste of his own medicine and not tell him I was there and just go back to the group.
Another stealth check then.
I'm not going to get as lucky, am I? And I was right.
As you're writing this stuff down, Racha, you hear Nori's foot kind of catch the floor behind you. And as you turn around, you see she's walking away.
I'll just sort of glare at it and be like, man, jealous. That's in his mind, of course. But that's basic. Yeah, he wouldn't regard it at all.
Okay.
And then to the other two, I go, whatever Richard's doing, I think it's best that it becomes a surprise.
He looks like he's doing arts and crafts from whatever, but it's Richard, and I don't really. He somewhat has a plan usually, so.
Very interesting arts and crafts indeed. Because Nori has been. She's very suspicious of these people and mind reading and all of that fun stuff, so she's giving Bridshaw essentially the thumbs up to do what you will, I don't want to know.
I can go ahead and offer Richard some supplies from my forgery kit, maybe. Just like, did you need more paper for drawing, Richard? As he opens up the kit, it's like, oh yeah.
I actually have calligraphy supplies.
Okay, have fun. It goes back to like trying to help Bryn wrap something or something like that.
Just a Christmas present.
Pretty much. So as you guys are in here during this time, that match that you guys had left concludes, and another match also concludes. At this time, by the time that you get another knock on the door asking for Bryn's to follow them and come down to the arena for the next bout, it is about 11:30. Don't forget, you guys also have something to do here.
Yeah, no, that's what Richard is preparing for.
Yep, and he's got to. I don't have confidence that the druid Nori is going to be very good at hiding in the shadows, opposed to the rogue Rachaw.
Or the 6-foot tree.
Yeah, just keep the 6-foot tree away from things.
We're able to get into the courtyard, though, right?
Yep.
So
There are 6 guards patrolling inside the courtyard, though.
I figured he wants to take another look at those uh, anti-magic things. He's gonna like play it off like he's smoking a cigarette, essentially, uh, like outside.
Okay. Um, what are you going to smoke then?
Just a small piece of paper.
Go ahead and give me a deception check. I'm a bad bird. I don't always smoke paper, but when I do it next to some stone. All right, you feel thoroughly cool, like Camel Joe from back in the day.
Damn.
Does uh, does the pillar look like it's toppleable? I guess is the best way to say it.
It's about 15 feet tall, um, and if you were to push on it, it doesn't even slightly move when you exert any force upon it. You're guessing, if this pillar doesn't also go down underground at all. What I see from up top is probably going to weigh somewhere in the realm of 500-600 pounds.
Reasonable enough. So there's a different second floor than the second floor we've been going to.
It looks like there's more second floor than the little hallway that you guys have been going to.
Which I would like to find some sort of way to get up to the second floor other than scaling the building in front of 6 guards.
Well, the guards are all around the courtyard here, so wherever you go, you're going to be in eyesight.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying I'd like to see if I can like find something inside that would indicate
Inside? Okay.
the rest of the second floor.
Gotcha. From the locations that you have access to, you do not see any other way to get to the second floor, but you also have not gone down. Like, the amount of rooms that you guys have access to is probably only about 50% of this first floor. There still is much in the way behind the guards and everything. Bryn, you've had access to a little bit more because you go down the back hallways. But as far as the rest of the group, what you guys have access to, only about 50%, and there is no other staircases or ladders or anything like that that you see.
Since Racha has been declared the coordinator, can he walk with Bryn in those down those hallways, or would Bryn have even recognized any extra access? I guess.
No, the coordinators aren't allowed to walk with the contestants as they're going around the back. They meet them at the ring. What the coordinators really do during these fights is handle all the money. So as they're first off, they pay the entrance fee. Then they also are in the crowd pretty much the entirety of the time, watching the next fights to see if any other fighters have any weaknesses or whatnot, and then going back to their fighter and saying, "Oh, this guy's favoring his left leg. This guy he's got a really bad, Cobra Kai, sweep the leg type of situations." And then they also handle all the betting that happens for their contestant.
So basically, everything Kaporn's been trying to do.
Well, none of you guys stayed to watch any of the other fights, so you have no idea how they turned out or who is possibly up next. So, emotional support more than intellectual support.
Right. Our child wouldn't be able to communicate it anyways. But unless anybody's gonna try and stop him, he's just gonna like walk in like he owns the place to try and get into the other side.
Oh yeah, no. From last time I said, there's 2 guards that stand to block the hallway that that all the contestants end up going through. So 2 Goliath guards just are standing there pretty much 24/7. They only allow entrance for the announcer as he leads the contestants through. So if you do try to walk past there, just nonchalantly past them, they are going to look at you and tell you to get away, bird.
He's gonna like pivot back around like it was mid-step forward and then walk back. Sort of sit down next to Kaporin and Nori and go, distraction, fire.
And how do we plan on doing that?
He is going to take Nori and Kaporin by the hands, walk them over to the bar, place down 10 trillium for the fruity cocktails of some sort.
Okay, that gets you 1 lightly fruity, sugary, buzzy drink.
He will need 2 then, so he'll put it on another 10, 20, or 20 total.
Gotcha.
He'll tip 2.
A. So you now have 2 fruity straw drinks.
He will casually hand them both to Nori and Kaporin and just say, enjoy.
Thanks, Racha. Just looking so confused.
He's going to then, like, with his eyes to the best of his ability without being so obvious that everybody else also notices, gesture towards the 2 guards blocking the space that he wants to go by and say, distraction,
I'm going to
under his breath.
I'm going to mentally mentally say to Racha, you want a distraction from us?
2 + 2, I figured water.
All right. And then I'm gonna look at Kaparin again, mentally go, we need a distraction.
You want a distraction? Kaporin just gives a wide smile.
And then to Racha, I just go, run. And then let Kaporin do whatever he's gonna do.
Kaporin takes both drinks in his hands, walks down the hallway, walking like he's drunk like a bastard, up to the guards, and it's like, woo! Party! Yeah! Boys, would you like to dance with me? Woohoo!
Please leave us. Go back to your seat.
Oh, come on, guys. Don't be like that.
Go
Have
back
some
to your
fun.
seat, or we will make you leave.
Please? Come on, I have drinks for you guys too. Let's like have a couple. And your work is so hard. You guys look so stiff. You need to loosen up a little.
This is your last warning. Please take your seats and enjoy the fight.
You guys have no fun. Kaporn just is starting to pout. Knowing that he needs to do the job for Rocha, he's just gonna sit down and just uh, Performance starts crying like he's having a mental breakdown right there in the hallway.
Okay.
Do I have to roll performance for that?
That's more of a deception.
Deception. Okay. Let's see.
Okay. They thoroughly believe that you are sitting down, a grown man crying on the floor.
Kaporn is just spewing out his father troubles.
Nori, you are in full view of this, as well as pretty much everyone in like a 20-foot radius have all kind of turned to look at this.
God damn it, Rachaw, if you don't do something, Kaporn's thinking in his head, as he just continues to cry and begin to bash around like a small child.
Nori just puts her head in her hand, just like, I can't deal with this today. I'm just...
Why? Why me?
If Kaporn can get a good look at Nori, he's like, you asked for this.
As soon as the guards are effectively distracted or moved from their post even slightly, he's gonna try and shoot by.
Possibly distracted, but they aren't moving. They give no fucks about Kaporan. But might be enough of a distraction for them not to notice a little black figure slipping by.
I'm willing to try.
If I throw a drink in their eyes, will that help?
You're gonna get killed. You can certainly try.
I don't want to die. I don't know what. Kaporn's just gonna, in his fit tantrum, he just ends up spilling drinks all over himself and the hallway, and maybe on the guards. If I don't know. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm so scared.
Give me a dexterity check.
And I was worried I was going to die.
Well, you missed the guard as you are doing your fumbling routine to try and pour drink on him. He literally just steps to the side and then you know how like a little cousin or something is trying to hit you and you palm their forehead and they just keep swinging and they can't touch you?
Yeah, I've done that before.
As the drink goes flying past him, he just palms your face and just holds you out in an extended arm. And so your neck is kind of like twisted back on itself as this Goliath hand is just encompassing your face currently. All right. We warned you.
Goodbye.
With that, this guard is going to, still holding your face, is going to grab the back of your head. So now he's got a hand on the front and the back of your head, and he's going to lift you up by said head. So now your feet are dangling, and he's going to start walking with you down the hallway as the other guard shifts to take over the spot between that both of them were covering.
Fun.
Kaporan, you get walked back, still dangling, and you're going from the pain of your head being squished and also the pain of your head and neck holding up the entirety of your body now. So you're kind of like holding on to his arms, trying to separate them, but also pull yourself up a little bit. Since he's got his hand on your face, you can't see a whole hell of a lot. You just see doors as they're passing. He walks down the hallway and then takes a right turn. This is opposite from the front door. He takes the turn. He walks a little bit more. You see a couple more doors. And then you feel the sweet relief of him letting go, and you're kind of like a little wobbly, and your eyes are starting to adjust to the contrast. And in front of you, you just see this solid stone room in front of you. And all of a sudden, you get a square kick in the small of your back as you get catapulted into the room. After colliding with the wall on the opposite side, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as your head ricochets off the stone wall. All you see before left in complete darkness is the solid metal door sliding closed, slamming shut, and you hear the locking mechanism on the other side, and then footsteps away.
While he was walking him back, could Richaw have made his move?
You can certainly try.
Is it just a stealth check to get by the guy?
Yep.
I'm going to use my DM inspiration.
All right. Luckily, you had it.
Thank fucking God.
As he slides over to the left, he kind of like looks behind him for a moment to make sure that he's not stepping in that drink that Kamporan spilled. And as he's turning his head back forward is when you take your little quick movement to get around him. And he is none the wiser.
All right. I have no idea what I see.
In front of you, you need to move quickly. Directly in front of you, you've got a hallway. You've got 2 doors to your left, 3 doors to your right, and then up ahead is a T intersection. You know that the left would lead towards the front door. And that's where also the staircases, the contestants come down and then wrap around to go this way. Straight ahead, past the T intersection, you've got another 3 doorways. And then as you get to the T intersection and look to your right, you've got 2 doorways to your left and 2 metal doors to your right. The metal doors are further down, closer to the back wall. They're the only doors that look any different from all the other doors in this place.
Did I watch him take Kaporan to one of those doors?
Did you... you could certainly try. You'd have to keep re-rolling stealth, though.
I would... If I had to wait, I would have... I would more or less have checked at least one or... whichever door. Like, I'll do like a slight knock on one door to see if anybody
Well, that
responds.
Goliath guard's coming back.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do a quick slight knock on one door.
Which one?
And if the first one, and if somebody responds, he's gonna knock on the next one, or he's gonna dip into the other one. So if nobody responds, he's gonna try and dip into the first room.
Okay, so the first room is only about 7 feet or so behind the Goliath guard that you just dipped behind.
Okay, so then he head more.
Let me give you an idea. It goes diagonally. So the first door is going to be on your left, about 7 feet. The next door is on your right, about 5 more feet past that. And then left, then right, and then it's the T intersection.
So you said it's diagonally.
What I mean is, so in consecutive order of the doors that are closest to you, it goes left, right, right.
and it's further down. So he'd probably like aim more towards like the third door or the fourth door. Then
Okay. Um, we'll go ahead and say the force since it's right about in the middle. Um, that door. Okay, you give it a knock, and no one audibly responds from the other side. There is no. And quickly look underneath. You don't see any lights on underneath.
all right, he's gonna then dip into that and wait for the guard to swing back through.
Okay, so you open up the door. It is unlocked. You jump inside and you slowly and quietly close the door behind you. You're in a pitch black room. The brief bit of light that you got from when the door was opened and exposed to the hallway light, you know there's a desk and a chair and what seemed to be like a small table of some sort in here. But you were more focused on the door as you closed it, and so you didn't get much information past that. About 20 seconds later, you hear the footsteps of the Goliath passing by back to his guard post.
All right, he's gonna sort of first. He's gonna take a bit of a breath and like look around the room just by the off chance he might have picked the exact room he was supposed to find.
Okay, it is pitch black in here.
He will spark up his candle that he carries with him.
Okay, so lighting the candle and kind of holding it around. It is a very simple desk in here with simple wooden chair behind it. This looks to be some sort of reading room. There is two bookcases off to the left with a myriad of different books. Majority of them in a language you do not recognize. But this is also where the small end table is at that has a couple books on it as well. One nice chair that's tucked into the corner, kind of behind the door. That seems to be the main reading chair. But aside from that, there seems to be there's not a lot of decoration or anything in this room specifically, especially with your candlelight not really giving you full view of everything. But you do catch a simple painting that seems to be along the opposite wall of the bookcases. The painting seems to be some sort of lake setting, very serene, calm waters and very green pastures. Besides that, though, there isn't windows. There isn't anything that shows any sort of character. The main thing in here is just books.
Yeah, if he didn't see anything that really looked like a safe, he'd probably give it like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of a quick look over, but he's not really feeling like it's probably the right spot.
Okay, give me a perception check. Yeah, you feel pretty good. You kind of really, you're taking the security of knowing this room's probably not going to be used anytime soon, and no one saw you go in here. So you take your time looking through everything, and besides that which I already described to you, there's nothing else much to this room.
All right, then he will slowly ease the door back open and get back into the hallway carefully and make his way around, not towards the front entrance of the T intersection if he can make it there.
Okay, go ahead and give me another stealth check. Alright, so you get to the T intersection and you can see the backs of the two guards towards the front. And like I said, you look to the right and you see the two wood doors on the left side of the hall and the two metal doors on the right.
There's no like up to the second floor anywhere.
Not that you can see.
Well, since the metal doors are different, he is gonna look at least at one of them.
Okay. So you creep your way down the hall. You're at the first metal door. It's both of them are solid metal with metal door frames as well. That looks like they connect to stone floors. Both are locked and indescribable looking between the two of them. There's no numbers, there's no letters or anything like that. It's just two solid metal doors with solid iron locks on the front.
All right, and he's kind of feeling it. He'll pick the first one, or at least attempt to pick the first one.
Okay, go ahead and slide it in. You're messing around with the lock for a little bit, and you're just not seeming to get the correct tumblers. I mean, this thing is a massive lock, and you're not even sure if your lock pick would even be able to reach down to the correct tumblers.
Fair enough. He's gonna assume the other metal door is also the same, and then check the two doors on the opposite side of the room, or the opposite side of the hall.
Okay. Yeah, as far as looking wise, it's got the same large lock on the front end, same large connection, pretty much a seamless bottom where the door meets the stone floor. But other than that, they look pretty much exactly the same. And as far as the other two doors across the hall, they're both locked.
I'll start with the one closer to the T intersection of the
Okay.
two.
Go ahead and roll so here. All right. After a few moments of messing around with the lock, you finally get the last tumbler to fall into place, and you get the satisfying little click of the handle turning with your tension rod, and the door slowly swings open.
He ease his way into the room, make sure it's empty. Like before he even like gets all the way into it, he's gonna like peek in and see if there's anybody inside.
Give me a perception check. Looking inside, and it's really the smell that hits you before anything. As you open up the door, you get a very acrid odor hit your nose, and you're kind of like, oh, that's ripe. And then as you're looking, you see a figure sitting in a chair across the way from you, almost pointed directly at you. And at first, you're kind of like about to do your R2D2 noises. Sure, they're going off in your head a little bit. But as the light starts to cascade over this figure, you realize this figure's been long dead. As it seems he is tied up to a chair. And beyond that fact, he has gouged marks all across his chest, long dried pools of blood underneath him and around the chair. He has been scalped, and you can see his actual skull cap, and both of his eyes have been plucked out.
Cha just thinks hardcore. Realistically, it's Ryan, but can he like take note of the? Is it just like gash marks that are in him?
Yeah,
or
it's
the
just
actual
like
symbols?
someone was going ravage at him.
He's like butt naked, or is there seem like there's something involved?
He's got pants on.
In him.
They're blood-soaked pants, but they're still pants.
Considering he was tortured, I'm going to go with they probably searched his pants.
Good idea.
a little bit more. but,
Well, yeah.
and so, if there isn't anything else in the room besides the,
Oh, there's plenty of other stuff in this room.
oh, then he would begin looking
All
through
the items used to inflict such wounds.
Interesting. Any items of note for inflicting these wounds?
It's a bunch of like butcher's supplies, different tools that have been haphazardly used in this manner. Not anything with your perception check. Nothing standing out as spectacular in any sense, or nothing that you couldn't get with a little bit of shopping throughout town. The only different thing about them all is that they're all covered in blood. But besides that, in this room, there's a couple hooks that hang from the ceilings. Those are blood encrusted as well. There is a porcelain tub off into the corner with a mire of some sort of liquid inside. Goopy, coagulated, and probably the source of the majority of the source of the smell comes from this tub. And unless you want to go fishing inside, you're probably best leaving it alone.
He is a fisher. No, I'm kidding.
Whips out a fishing line and is just like, oh, let's see what we can catch today.
Yeah, if there's nothing too
Well,
much.
there is as you get past, like, your head past the door, behind the door, there seems to be a conglomeration of, seems to be like shirts, pants, and a bunch of different clothes kind of all haphazardly tossed in this corner. Besides that, though, and the random instruments used to inflict torture of some sort, that's about it in this room.
Can he actually, while he's in this room, just to double check, can he see if he can reach into his bag of holding now?
Still nothing.
All right, I just wanted to make sure if it wasn't just like the one half of the building, but he's going to actually take as much of the linens as he can. Not as much as he can, enough to, I don't know, start a fire.
Okay, I mean, it's a bunch of shirts and shorts and pants and stuff like that, so you could take a couple shirts.
Yeah, he'll probably just like bundle them up and put them in his backpack.
Okay.
But then, while he's looking in there, can he make a perception check to see if he finds anything in there?
That'd be an investigation check.
No, right there.
Since you only, haphazardly searched through it and you weren't, taking too much time, you didn't really find anything of note. A little handkerchief here and little bits of twine and things like that, but nothing spectacular.
Twine means a wick-ish, so he's going to take a little bit of that to bundle it all into his backpack and then make sure you reload.
Actually, with you being Richard, you find 2 shoes. One left, one right.
He's going to take only the left one.
After that.
But, and I will double the amount of left shoes I have in my inventory now.
There you go.
He's gonna make sure he locks the door on his way out before going back into the hallway and trying the other door.
All right. Another stealth check. All right. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check for the next door's lock. You're kind of messing around with it for a little bit, and it's just not. You don't know what it is. Maybe this thing has a hidden tumbler or something, but it's just not going through for you. That pretty much voids this door of trying to pick it again.
Gotcha. Looking through the stuff he has. Doesn't really have much. He will then, if there's no other door this direction. So it's just like it ends at a wall on the far end of it. Okay. Then he'll start making his way across to the other side of the intersection.
Okay. So after you make your way across, you've got 6 doors, 3 and 3 on each side.
I will start with the one against the back wall, so the closest one to the T intersection, but on the opposite side of the hallway from the entrance I came in.
So the far right.
Yeah, I'm trying to like orient myself. So if I'm looking down the hallway with the 6 doors, I'm the first one on the right is the one I would try.
Okay, so like right after you make the intersection, trying the first door on your right.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead and slide a hand. Yeah, you're trying to pick the lock, and you feel one of the tumblers get stuck in an awkward position, and you're like, shit. And that door is no longer pickable.
He's gonna do a loop, so he's gonna go stay to the right side of the hallway and go down the hallway, and then come back the left way if he needs to.
Okay, so you move on to the next one on the right, and you're picking it, right?
Well, first you try it. If it's locked, you.
Okay. Yeah, you try it and it's locked.
It really likes 5s for me. This is the one time I don't like 5s.
You try it, and again, the same thing. You get to that third tumbler, and it just locks in position, and you're like, fuck. Not the type that I need. And that door is locked out, too.
All right, next one up, next one down.
Next one, that one is locked as well. You are able to get this one. That third tumbler, you kind of play with it just a little bit more gingerly than the last couple ones, and it falls into position, and you're like, thank God. And with the tension rod, it opens up in front of you. On the other side of this door, there seems to be about 4 different tables all set up, kind of one against each wall. And in the center, there is this glass sculpture of some sort, right in the middle. So the tables create like a circle, or a square, and this sculpture rises up from the ground in the middle. It spirals up and kind of looks almost like. It spirals in the same way that a double helix does, but it doesn't have all the little molecule to molecule fucking lines
gotcha.
and balls and shit. It's just a smooth glass sculpture that kind of wraps around on itself. And then at the top, it kind of folds over halfway. So kind of almost, if looking at it at a correct angle, it can almost look like a candy cane. But it's all glass. And besides that, the room is lit, but there's no one inside.
He will investigate the room to see if he can discern any sort of like safe and like be checking for if there's like potential safes and walls and stuff.
Okay, make an investigation check. Going around the room, checking walls and different things for possible hidden safes. There is no open safe, and there doesn't seem to be any hidden safes here. The only thing you find is a bunch of notes and different things written on the four desks that kind of circumnavigate this sculpture in the middle. But other than that, no safes.
Can you take a closer look at the glass thing at all, or was that part of the investigation?
Yeah, you can take a closer look to it.
Does it seem like it's trying to send a message?
If this thing is activatable in some way or fashion, it doesn't seem to be activated in any such way.
What would be a will save?
Oh, a will? Oh, to try and not poke it?
Exactly.
That would be an intelligence saving throw. This would be mind over heart, I guess. I'll let you decide what the DC on that was.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that was pretty good. He's not gonna poke it.
Okay.
But yeah, he wouldn't even know. This is the point where he's thinking to himself. He's like, "What's a diamond, anyways?"
Oh yeah, that's always a great part.
It's like, I mean, this could be a diamond. I think he understands that it's a gem, but he wouldn't even know what it would look like necessarily.
This could be a really big gem.
It could be, yes. He was told multiple diamonds, so he's gonna assume this isn't it, and he's gonna leave and head to the next door over. Quietly, of course.
Of course. Okay. This one is locked as well, so go ahead and roll sleight of hand. Alright, with this, you get your tools inside and play with the lock for a little bit, and before you even finish, the doorknob starts to turn.
He's going to. He's gonna. I did say I locked the first one. Would I have locked the second one based
You
off?
didn't say you locked the second one, so.
So then, yeah, he would sort of dip out and back into the one that he didn't lock.
Okay, so you jump back into the room with the glass sculpture inside. Slowly closing the door. Luckily, that who was opening the door that you were trying to get into was talking to someone and facing the opposite direction. They did not see you as the door was starting to open. So you get into the room and close the door behind you. Are you just staying on the other side of the door? Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'd be listening, listening through the door to try and see if he can discern any of the conversation.
Okay. So they start to. You hear the other door close and a lock being turned. You hear what languages do you know?
Elvish, Common, Orin, and Thieves' Cant.
So it's in a language you do not know, but you've heard Nori speak it a bunch. You know a little bit of it, but they're not using any of the words that you know. And even then, you still don't know what it actually means. They're speaking Sylvan. So you hear the voices get louder, and then you hear a key working in the lock next to in the door that you are currently trying to listen through.
Would he have time to like dip underneath one of the tables, or no?
The tables are wide open tables.
Gotcha. So, is there
Just
like
exposed legs.
any particular place he can hide it in here, or no?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that would stick out. Like otherwise, he's just gonna dip behind the door.
So this room does have windows, and it does have drapes, and there is a small sort of window-length table that sits underneath this that has just a small tea set and a couple other little things on it. But the drapes hang over the table over here. So you do have one spot. Now, I need you to make a dexterity check to see if you can get there fast enough and not mess anything up and not make it obvious that you're sliding underneath the table at this moment. Literally barely enough.
Thank God.
You quickly turn and see the small spot that you need to dip to, and just mathematically in your head calculate all the angles that you need to go to quickly, and then parkour your way through the room, trying not to disturb anything, trying not to make anything fall or make it known that someone was here. And you get...
Glass structure shattering.
Yeah, especially that one. No bull in a china shop. But you do get underneath the table and the door and underneath the drape as you hear the individuals enter the room and the door close behind them as they continue to talk.
How so? Where do he's gonna give them a minute, and if they like to see where they sit down, or if they sit down at all.
They're both standing by, from your angle, the right table. They're currently looking at whatever is on the table there.
And where the right table is, where is it in Orient with the door, I guess, that they came through?
Well, the door is pretty much directly across the room from you right now, since you're sort of in the middle of the room, middle opposite wall. The glass sculpture is right in the middle of the room, and the tables go around this glass sculpture. So the whole room, width-wise in general, is roughly about 25 feet. This sculpture alone is about a 5-foot cube. And then the tables are on either side of this sculpture between 5 to 7 feet. So this all takes up a good majority of the center of the room. So from the door looking in, the table they're at is to the left. So from your position looking towards the door, they're at the table to your right.
Gotcha. And would I have noticed listening at the door if they locked the other room they came out of, or not?
Yes, they did.
Oh man, did they seem to casually leave the key somewhere?
Are you going to stick your head out to try and look?
If their backs are turned, yes.
Well, you're to their side. And they're looking at the table right now. So, in their respect, they're staring at the statue in the middle, or they're facing the statue, looking down at their table. To the right is the door. To the left is where you're at.
Gotcha. can. I mean, he's gonna have to dip out sometime. He'd probably give them like 2 or 3 minutes again, not too long. But if they linger, he's gonna start trying to move. But if they finish up whatever they're looking at in the next 2 or 3 minutes, he's gonna hold off.
All right. So with that, Bryn, you have been summoned once again by the announcer, taken down through the back hallway, around past the triage and the bar, once again up to the arena. The announcer steps onto the pit before you. The first round of all fights has come to a close. Our next battle is between Brynhilde, the Valkyrie, and Vargarog, Vilesman. With that, you see the half-orcish individual that you all witnessed gain entry earlier on in the night step up on his side of the sand pit with a interesting gash above his left eye that seems to have been relatively healed, but it seems that he was part of the last battle right before this, as all of his bruises really haven't started to get that nice purple hue to them yet. They're still in the green phase. But he seems ready to go. He puts up his hands, ready to fight. The announcer looks at you, makes sure you're ready, and to incapacitation or execution. Begin. And he swoops down. I need you to roll initiative. All right, that allows him to go first. Okay. So, with his turn, he is going to slide his left foot forward, closer toward you. He's going to spin and give you a kick. That is a 14 to hit.
Thanks.
And as he does so, he is going to, as he makes contact with you, he's going to use his momentum to sort of spin and give you a heel kick as well. That being a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
That is 8 points of damage. But as he, after the heel kick happens and he lands on his feet, he squares up to you once more and he's ready for your turn.
How big are half orcs?
This guy is 6'4".
Okay. We're gonna go up and good God. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna try to kick in his knee, see if that'll bring him down.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. That hits. Not enough damage to cripple his knee, but make solid contact.
Can we try again? Just go once more.
Same spot?
Yes, sir. Never mind.
As you go to kick the same spot, he kind of slides his leg back at the last second, and you make no contact, and you start to spin in front of him. And he's going to take the opportunity to give you a quick jab to the right kidney, which he knows you took a big hit to earlier. And that's a 26 to hit.
That just hits a little bit.
That's 5 points of bludgeoning damage. So as you spun and he got that hit in, he's going to try and kick your leg out. So since he's trying to go for a specific spot, well, he's going for your full leg. So that raises your DC by 2, and this is a 14 to hit.
That would hit then, because it would make it a 14.
Okay. So with that, he kicks your leg out, which sends you toppling to the ground. So you are prone. But it is your turn.
Okay, we're going to try to get up and, with the momentum of getting up, try to uppercut him, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not bad with these guys.
He does get the opportunity to attack if you try to get up, which is a 24.
Beautiful. Love that.
That's 4 more damage. But it doesn't stop you from getting up.
Yeah, we're still going to try to, I guess, uppercut him.
Okay. So he kind of like reaches down and pops you in the shoulder. Now you come up for the uppercut. Go ahead and roll. That does hit. So you clock him directly underneath the chin, which kind of pulls him back from being like over you as you start to stand up.
Then with her other one, she's going to swing, hopefully connecting with the eye, if that's the right arm. I can't even tell anymore.
With the eye?
Yeah, like where the
gash? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would raise it up his armor class by 4 if you're trying to pinpoint a spot.
Never mind. We'll just try to...
You already said you were going to do it.
Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. Bloody freaking hell.
So you try to swing a little bit kind of Haymaker-esque to the gash above his eye, and he sees it coming from a mile away and ducks it just as your arm's about to go over. He's going to slide his arm up, so that way you guys kind of look like you're interlocking shoulders, and he's going to try and force you to the ground by kicking out your leg. That is only... Where is this? Oops. That is only a 12. You get +2 because he's going for a specific body part.
Oh, cool. Then no, that doesn't hit.
So he goes to try and sweep out your leg, but you kind of hold strong, and his leg just connects, but doesn't do any damage. So you guys are currently interlocked right now with your arms. So to give you an idea, your right foot and his right foot. So your right foot is behind his right foot right now, and he's got his arm locking your arm by the shoulder. So your arm is currently over the top of his right shoulder, and his right arm is currently over the top of your right shoulder. But it's your turn.
Could I try to maneuver so I'm behind him in this instead of next to him?
Yeah, you can try. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. As you try to lift up and get around, you're too locked in, and you just are still stuck in that position.
Since that failed, could I try to use the momentum that I would have since that didn't fail, trying to flip him then instead, or no?
Yeah, that would be a strength check.
Can I use the inspiration for that?
Certainly. Ooh, we have a tie.
Oh shit.
Okay, that is just another roll off on that one. So another strength check. All right, so you are able to use your slightly smaller frame, but weigh about the same, and just kind of heave-ho him and slam him down to the ground.
So that was one attack, so I have one more, right?
Correct.
So then am I still like, I guess, wrapped within him?
No, since you kind of like slammed him, you're now just above him.
We're gonna just boot him in the face. Just take a big old stomp. Oh, wait. I don't know. We're gonna kick him in the face.
Okay. Go ahead and...
No, this is not my thing, okay?
All right.
So then that would end her turn, because I think the...
Yeah, no, I just had my wife doing a bunch of shit in the background.
No, I get you. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm done or not, so I think I'm done.
So with that, you kind of bring up your boot and curb stomp him like American History X. And rip apart that gash over his eye. So that's 8 points of damage.
Does he get blood in his eyes now?
He now has disadvantage on all his attacks.
Oh, shit.
Okay, but since you're not grappling and you're not on top of him or anything, he's going to roll and incur the opportunity attack.
Do I get advantage at that?
No.
Or we're just gonna go ahead and kick at him, I suppose.
That hits. But he does still get up and in front of you. And as he takes this moment of getting up, yeah, he's going to have to do it. You see him take a deep cleansing breath. And just like you did in the first round, you see him slightly get invigorated and the blood stops seeping from his wound. Yeah, and then it's gonna end his turn.
That was all his turn.
Yeah, get up, second wind. He can only attack if he uses the attack action for his extra attack, so.
Gotcha. Alright, we're just gonna go and punch him twice. For now, I guess.
Okay. So you jump in, ready to deliver 2 blows. The first one connecting with his nose, and the second one was going to connect with his chin, but the impact from the nose hit sent his head flying back to the point where your other strike really just couldn't reach. You've now broken his nose, which I have here. Makes him take an extra 1 damage for every time he gets hit. That ends your turn?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to... Yeah, he's going to be a little dirty. He's going to get close. He's going to try and grapple you. So that's athletics or acrobatics from you. Alright, he fails in the grapple, but he is going to take 2 shots at your kidney since he's in close. First one being a 20, the second one being a 16.
Yep.
It's 8 points of damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay. So as he makes continual contact with your kidney, this one has already taken that massive blow from earlier. You feel a retching in your stomach, and you're able to hold it down. But if they continue to keep hitting that kidney, bad things might happen. But it's your turn. He's currently, he's close in on you and slightly off to your right.
We're gonna try to, I guess, grapple him and then use my leg to sweep him on his ass.
Okay, that's an athletics check from you. So you do have him grappled. Leg sweeps an attack.
Okay, the leg sweeps an attack.
Yes. You do sweep his leg out, so you're trying to throw him on the ground.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you grab him by the like right underneath the armpits, sweep his leg out, and throw him down to the ground. So you now have him pinned on the ground. So he's currently grappled and restrained. You still have 1 attack if you'd like.
Punch to the face.
Okay, go for it. That does hit.
How does this guy look?
I mean, it's all real hard to make, especially with him being on the ground currently right now and a bloody nose, which is pouring blood out. But he still seems to be decently in the fight. This guy, with you now pinning him on top, he's going to try and break your grapple. So that's an athletics from you. He does break your grapple. And he's just going to try and double punch you in the throat. The first one being a 26. Second one being a 9.
He's prone, right?
Yep.
So is that a disadvantage or no?
Yep.
We'll hit a freaking 26. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Double 19s, baby.
Fucking Christ.
Just be lucky he doesn't crit on a 19. But you take 4 points of damage. As the second one, after you take the first hit, you kind of like keep your head far enough away so you can't do it anymore. But it's your turn. He is no longer grappled, so you don't have advantage on the attack.
Let's just make this poor guy's life worse. She's gonna try to gouge his eyes.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack. Unfortunately, going for a pinpoint spot like that, his AC goes up by 4. That does not hit. You try to scrabble up for his eyes, and he kind of sees what you're going for, and wide-eyed as you're doing it, you kind of, no, and he starts slapping at your hands.
As he's trying to swipe away my hands, I'm just gonna take one of my hands in a fist and just drive it into his neck.
Okay, go ahead. With that, it does hit. You feel the weird neck muscles kind of bulge and pop a little bit as you make connection.
And yep, that's her turn.
Okay. He's gonna go for your kidney again. He's just gonna hammer fist on your kidney twice. First one is a 20.
Advantage too, or no?
Yep. Second one is only an 8.
Alright, just the one.
Alright, that's 4 points of damage, and I need a con save. You feel the fire emanating from that area, and the nausea start to rack the bottom of your stomach, but again, you just push it down. Alright, your turn.
Alright, we're gonna try to grapple him and then punch him again in the freaking face. This is apparently her thing now.
She's a ground pounder. Go for it. Athletics from you. Alright, he's grappled. So you have advantage on the attacks. With the first hit, you split open his eye once more, and the blood starts to pour over it. Second hit coming in, just starts to get blood smeared all over the right side of his face.
That's all my actions. She's not gonna do a bonus action. Just kidding, I already grappled. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, he is going frantic, just gonna hammer fist more on your kidney. First one is a 12, which doesn't hit because the AC goes up with the pinpoint. Second one is a 15, which doesn't hit either. So with one eye closed off, blood pouring from his eye, from his nose, and him just kind of flailing about, he misses these 2 shots, and it's your turn.
And I still have him grappled?
Yep.
I still have him grappled, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. Just 2 more.
All right. First one hits. Second one hits. So as you have him and just beat him back, and you see him go unconscious after the second hit. And as you let go of him, he kind of slumps to the ground, unmoving. And just as the announcer's about to call it, you see his one good eye open back up. Relentless endurance, baby. All right. That is your turn.
Yeah.
He's gonna go for the kidney once more.
My poor freaking kidney.
That's a 20 to hit for the first one. And a 16 to hit for the second one, which I think with your +4 makes it 16 armor class, right?
Rectamundo.
Alright, I need 2 con saving throws. You feel the fire really starting to pull from that right kidney, but you're able to hold yourself together and keep everything down. And you do take 8 points of damage. But after he hits you twice there, he kind of has a slight smile on his face, and then he sees you kind of just like look back at him with intent, and he's just like, oh shit. Your turn.
Yep, we're gonna just pop him again. He didn't get up or anything, did he?
No, but you let go of him from the grapple.
Gotcha.
First one misses. Second one misses.
God damn it.
You punch and punch, but so much blood from on your fists and on his face that literally you connect, but then it slides off. Okay. Two more to the kidney. First one's a 22. 14. Second is a 14, which doesn't hit.
Just that first one.
Alright, so 4 points of damage and a con save. This time, as you get hit in the kidney, the fire radiates so much more, and that feeling that you've been pushing down each time is overwhelming at this point. And your stomach just goes into knots, and the worst cramp imaginable just before you start retching puke and blood off to the side. And it's enough of an alleviation for him to get out from underneath you. So you are currently stunned for 1 round.
Does it have to be off to the side?
Well, yeah, because it's not like an immediate throw-up thing. It's like like the intense pain happens first, and that's when he uses to get out of the way of the barf.
Can I make his life more miserable and try to get it on him, though?
Go ahead and give me a... I don't even know what check this would be. Dexterity check.
I feel like that's fair, because it's, you're aiming something, a projectile.
Exactly. You try and fling it off in the direction of him, but aren't able to get it so your hand slips forward, and you end up puking all over your right arm.
Hey, we gotta try.
So you are stunned for this next round, so you can't do anything. You are not prone, but you're on your knees. And he's standing up, which means it gives advantage to him on all his attacks, but the eye gives him disadvantage, so it's just straight rolls for him. He is just going to try and kick your head off. First one only being a 14, but since he's trying to hit a specific part, it raises it 4, so that doesn't hit. But the second one's a natural 20.
Fuck.
I think I prepped for this somewhere. Okay. So the first kick he does swings past your face, and it kind of gives you that breath of air, and you're like, oh shit, what's happening? Just before, underneath your chin, you feel the connection of a boot, and it just kind of snaps your neck back. So it like impacts like your upper back of your spine. You feel you hear a mighty loud crack. Your jaw is currently broken. Any hits to the face will count as critical damage. But, so you take 8 points of damage on that turn. And that ends his turn. You are no longer stunned.
Would getting up give him an opportunity attack?
You're technically not prone, so no, it wouldn't.
Okay, we're gonna get up and just try to fucking end it with 2 kicks to the freaking guy.
Okay, go for it. And as you get up and you square boot him directly in the chest, you send him flying a good 10 feet before he skitters and flumps onto the ground, unmoving. A couple seconds go by before the announcer steps forward and says, "By incapacitation, Brynhilde the Valkyrie is victor." Some more erupts of applause and cheer, especially from your compatriots that are here at least.
It's just me.
And quite a few boos from the crowd, more than the first one, but nevertheless, you have come out on top this time.
People need to start appreciating the underdog here.
The smaller, skinnier half-orc pulls Vargrog off the side of the pit and starts hobbling him towards the triage tent area, and you're in mighty need of it as well.
Oh yeah, she's following.
Is there anything you'd like to do, Nori?
Well, everything inside her is screaming, help her, but she knows that is currently not an option. So what she's going to do is she's going to watch and listen.
To what specifically?
To the people around her, and then whoever's fighting next. I want to know their weaknesses, just so I can give Bryn any preparation.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
And the people around me, if they're saying anything interesting.
Yeah, that's what the perception check's for.
Man, I've got bad rolls today.
Only when you try to sneak up on the bird.
The majority of people around you are currently just talking about the fights and what next bets are going to be happening. Other than that, not a whole lot of interesting conversation is happening. They're just comparing people and talking about how much money they've won, lost, and pretty much just the realm of betting info is getting passed currently. Bryn, you are brought back to full health, but you still do have the broken jaw and the technically ruptured kidney. Richa, during these last few minutes, You are waiting for these individuals to leave or give you an opportunity to slip by when you hear the roar of applause signifying another match ended. You see the two individuals kind of stop and stare at the door as you hear it sounds like two pairs of footsteps walking past the door. And then it goes away, and they return back to what they were doing.
So, my initial question will determine what I do now. But what would I got venom needles in my blowgun, but I don't know exactly what they did.
This was from when?
The really creepy shopkeep in Artemir.
Yes.
25 of them.
I'll need to add those into your equipment list. My apologies. Venom needles. They incur 1d6 poison damage, and on a critical hit, the target must make a Constitution saving throw before becoming paralyzed for 1 minute. Con save is a 14. Unless the creature is a anything bigger than a large creature.
Do these guys seem to be armed at all, or is it more or less?
You can peek out and take a look.
Yeah, I would have at least sort of edged my way out as quietly as possible.
Make a stealth check. And you see what these guys' passive perceptions are. Okay. Peeking out and looking at these two individuals, you can't tell exactly what they are. They have hoods on for whatever they're wearing, connected to their robes. You see they're roughly about the same height, and you don't see any glint of weapons on them anywhere, but most of your visible range on them is obscured by the hooded cloak that they have on, and currently, at least in both of their hands, it seems to be just papers, and that they've been picking up from the desk and placing back down.
He's gonna have his blowgun drawn, and I want to have it specifically loaded for the venom dart and then a walloping dart. So that my first two shots, one's venom, and then the next is walloping. And I think he's gonna try to be quiet about it first, and make. But if they notice him, he's going to take 2 shots at the person that he knows has the key.
You have no visual range on any key.
I would have assumed it was the guy that left the other one and then came into this one.
They both did.
As in, like, the one that opened the door and opened this door.
Oh, yeah, no. It was the guy who opened the door was different from the guy who closed so the guy who opened the first door, It's different from the guy who closed the first door. And then, even then, for you to sit there and wait and find out who that was to differentiate between the two, we might have to retcon some roles.
No, yeah, it's fine. The one that notices him, then he would take the 2 shots at him.
Okay. Well, as you inch out, they don't seem to see you just yet.
So yeah, as long as they don't see him, he's gonna start making a move towards the door, like in a wide circle behind them.
So as far as room behind them goes, like directly behind them, there's only about 4 or 5 feet. Because remember, this room's only 25 feet wide. The thing in the middle is 5 feet big. The table's 5 feet out from that. The table themselves are a few feet, so it starts to get pretty cramped in here.
Makes sense. Then, since he's gonna get so close, while he's moving by, can he see if he can notice a key anywhere?
Give me a perception check and another stealth. As you start to crane your neck around to possibly see some belt loops or possibly keys on tables or something, you're looking, and your foot kind of catches the edge of one of the floorboards and makes a little bit of a. And at this point, the person that's closest to you turns his head and looks directly down your eyes into your soul. And what you see in front of you is an individual with completely black skin. 2 horns come out from the front of his head and then, like, almost frame his face. So they come out the top from the front and then sort of circle around, kind of like those buffalo. And it's just his face is completely black and his eyes also completely black. He's got the white of his eyes, but the pupils are completely black. He looks at you and speaks out something. And the other individual kind of steps back and looks towards you. This individual being a blue-skinned, green-haired one like you've seen throughout the town.
Gotcha. Since the first guy was the one that noticed me, he would take the 2 shots at him with the darts.
Okay, go ahead.
Do I have an advantage at all?
Since you lost your stealth, nope.
Just wanted to make sure.
You should have just Tommy gunned them from underneath the table. You gotta teach Rachel the line, "This is Sparta!"
Were there Spartans in this world?
There might be a place called Sparta.
Ooh.
It's a far off distant land. Go ahead. Does an 18. Alright. So then he takes the 7 damage from the needle and has to make the save for the paralysis. I guess not the paralysis, but for the damage.
There is no save to the venom, the poison damage. The save is just for the crit and the paralysis.
Alright, then he takes 6 points of poison damage.
Okay.
Or 5 points. 12 points total.
Yep.
And then he would fire again at the same guy with the walloping dart.
Okay. That misses.
I would hope so.
Yeah, so the first dart goes out, and the second dart, as you go to shoot it, and it doesn't seem to leave the chamber.
I will then move over to cut them off from the door and swap to my rapier.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
That's not what I meant to do. What am I doing?
Okay. So you kind of tuck the blowgun away behind you, and as in a motion of sliding underneath the tables and pulling out the rapier, I stand in front of them, blocking the door. Ooh. Excuse me.
I will just point my rapier towards them and, in as threatening a voice as he can muster, go, "Diamonds, now."
So I'd say that that first part was a surprise round, but you lost your stealth advantage. So, top of the round goes the black-skinned horned individual. You see him flare out the coat, and you can see an array of daggers along his belt. About 8 of them, to be exact. And he takes out 2 and throws them at you. For a 14 and a 16.
14 misses, 16 hits.
There it is. For 5 points of damage, piercing. As the first one kind of flies past your upper shoulder, the second one kind of grazes across your left shoulder. It's your turn.
He will keep himself, so is the black-skinned guy, but closer to me or away from me?
Further away from you.
But does the other guy seem scared at all, or is he just like...
They both just look pissed.
Alright, he's going to dash up, not dash, but he's going to scurry on up to the guy closest to him and bonus action cast Wrathful Smite on his weapon, and then lunge, pierce him.
He has no weapon.
No, on my weapon.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna cast Wrathful Smite on my weapon, and then strike at him with my rapier, and simultaneously, if I hit, do Booming Blade.
All right. Kaporan's just lying in that cell, just wishing he had kept the majority of his drink.
I wish I had the other one to work on.
That does hit.
That's rapier damage. That is the psychic damage of Wrathful Smite, and he needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
18.
Makes the save. So, if he chooses to move, though, he takes 2d8 damage, thunder damage, from Booming Blade.
From what?
From Booming Blade, the cantrip that
Gotcha.
Ritual has.
All right.
But he's still maintaining his posture of guarding the door.
Okay, so with that, he doesn't know about the movement thing, so he is going to move. So go ahead and roll the 2d8. Period. Okay. Takes that damage. All right. He is going to kind of step to the side and move back towards the window that you were hiding underneath, and says something to the other individual. It ends his turn. So the black skinned individual is going to pull out 2 more daggers and run up to you.
Did he move out of my range, the other one?
Oh yeah, I thought you said you moved back. Yes, he moved out of your range.
Alright, then I will swing my opportunity attack at him.
That hits. Okay. No extra damage for that, right?
Unless I get sneak attack for whatever reason.
Not quite. Alright, so other individual's turn. Come with the 2 daggers to attack you. First one, nat 20. Second one, 10.
Does not hit.
That's 7 points of piercing. And that'll end his turn, bringing it back to you. He's just coming at you with both daggers, kind of wildly swiping at you.
How much space is between me and the other guy?
If you've right there and he moved to the other side, about 15 or so.
Does he seem to be like bolting for the window to try and jump at it?
Nope.
He's still gonna do it anyways. He'll bonus action disengage from this guy, move the 15 feet, and lunge at him. Lunge at the guy he's been striking.
Okay, go for it. That hits.
And I will apply another booming blade to him and another 11 points of damage.
No booming blade necessary as you pierce the dagger through the center of his chest. And you see the life drain from his body, and the slight violet crystal invigorate in color along your rapier. He slides off the end of the end of the rapier, slumped onto the ground. Otto the historian is dead.
Unfortunately, I don't know who that is.
Yep, I get to delete that backstory.
I'm sorry. But then I will move around to block the door again from the guy.
You wouldn't have enough movement anymore.
I can't go back to where I was. 15 out, 15
You can go into melee distance with him again, but like for you to get to him, because he was on the other side of tables, I was factoring in like you either going under or over tables to get to him.
Gotcha. So then, yeah, he'd get back into melee with him as much
Okay.
as possible.
Yeah, you can get back into melee at least. Okay, so he's gonna swipe with his 2 daggers. First one being 21, second one being 21.
All right.
First one is 7 points of piercing. Second one is 5 points of piercing.
He's going to uncanny dodge the first one.
Okay, so as he swings out, trying to wildly stab at you with the daggers, from what you've encountered, at least some of the people that you battle along this way, you can tell this is a very untrained individual. But does so regardless, making less than fruitful contact on the first one, but still hurts. That ends his turn and brings it to you.
I will maneuver back around between him and the door again and raise the rapier to him and just make the same or make a threat of.
Diamonds.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick a phrase. Give me a second. He's just sort of going to look at him and notice that he's definitely an untrained person and just go a little precarious and like sort of waggle the rapier in his face, like trying to intimidate him into stop.
Okay, so you kind of toyingly put the rapier at him and be like, stop it. And as you do so, the slight charge that was in your rapier seems to dissipate from the stone, and the blade of your rapier seems to glow a slight purple before all of a sudden violently discharging out the front end of the rapier. I need you to roll 2d10 for me. Blasting 11 points of force damage, directly into the face of this individual.
I'm just gonna look down at my sword and like, the fuck?
Yeah, that will do it. He was only a level 1 rogue. I mean...
Man, now you're gonna make me feel bad.
So, as the bright violet energy kind of extends out the tip of the rapier and catches this poor young tiefling's face, you see as the skin starts to fold and crack and tear back as this violet energy beam just irradiates the top part of his face, leaving a smoking husk and a skeletal figure underneath as he collapses to his knees, and then I would say face first, but now more like skull first, just impacts the ground, unmoving.
Fuck the fucking queen.
But the last one was decently loud.
Can I try?
And the booming blades don't help.
Yeah, it's thunder damage. I don't die. But he'll take the two and sort of like try to get to the space he was in. Obviously, I doubt like 3 bodies can hide in that spot.
No.
But is it enough for 2 or no?
It was barely enough for a 5-foot bird.
All right, fair enough. But he's going to see if he can locate a key on either one of them until he hears the
people coming.
Yeah, the
investigation check.
Moving.
Searching through the body of the black-skinned individual, you don't find anything, but on the first one that you had slain, you do find a set of 4 keys Surprisingly enough, not all on the same key ring, but separately stored on the belt. All 4 of them being some sort of copper key and roughly looking the same.
With that investigation and kind of freaking out a little bit about what my weapon just did, do the is there anything like a crystal around or not?
A crystal?
Like what Nori's looking for?
Oh, you mean on them?
Yeah, like the reason why it wanted me to kill this dude or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, there's nothing.
There was a crystal. All right.
You literally killed a librarian and someone who just started learning how to fight.
Wonderful. I shouldn't have scared him. But he's gonna prop them up on the back end of that large statue so that, like, if somebody were to look through the door, they don't see any.
Okay, hold on.
Bodies.
That's a lot of things you're trying to do in a very small amount of time.
Okay, yeah. If he started hearing movement, he would.
Yeah, I would say by the time that booming blade went off, and then the other 2 rounds plus that last one went off, you have enough time to search for the keys, and that's about it. Before you start to hear footsteps coming.
Would I have enough to be able to, like, drag the bodies over to, like I was saying?
One body.
All right, so then.
Because you do have tables and shit in your way, so it's not like just dragging them straight to the thing. It's.
Yeah. I'll move the librarian to the spot that I wanted them to be in.
Okay, it is a glass sculpture, so they can see through it.
I thought it was on a pedestal. Then never mind. He's gonna throw him into behind the curtain.
Okay. Go ahead and do a performance check for me, just for the fuck of it. Sounds about right. So you get the bodies back there and kind of stuff them back in. As you're standing up close, you're like, okay, that looks good. And you take a few steps away and you look back and you realize the heads are, like, you covered up all the way to the feet, but then the heads are sticking out the other end. And you hear doof, 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 doof. Sounds to be about 2 to 3 sets of feet coming from different directions towards the door.
He's going to run and lock the door for if it's not already locked.
You run and check, and it is.
All right, then he's going to throw up a minor illusion of the 2 people standing at the desk like they were, and then sort of join them, quote unquote, like they're all looking down at the papers, and speaking to them about it.
Trying to think of the extent of minor illusion.
It literally is just a still frame of them, like one with their hands on the table and one like standing back or standing upright looking down at the table with the papers.
So you hear the footsteps come around and you prep yourself up to get ready for this situation, casting minor illusion. You hear other doors starting to get open until you hear a key enter this door and it open with 2 Goliaths coming inside. Oh, sorry. Have you seen any fighting going on? We heard explosions.
Without looking up myself, that I'm going to mimic the Sylvan uh, that they were speaking towards each other, or assuming it was Sylvan, uh, the that they were speaking towards each other, and not actually like they're almost ignoring them, like they're beneath them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a deception check. You speak some of the random Sylvan that you heard, mainly kind of just reiterating, saying what Nori said, or you heard around Nori that one time. Just over, frontwards, backwards, kind of taking little bits of it and just continuously looping it. Um, oh, all right. Sorry to disturb you. Come on, Greg. And he pushes the other Goliath out of the room. Goliath kind of like peers back, kind of looking, cocks his head, but follows his friend. And the door closes and locks behind you.
The child's just going to let out a heavy sigh, like, oh.
You're lucky it was Goliath.
That was my best bet. It was like either that or I'm making an even bigger noise crashing through the window.
I'm so impressed.
What did they roll, if I may ask?
It was an insight, and they rolled an 11, but they got a -1, so it was 10.
Oh, just by the hair.
Well, at least one did.
But he's gonna like, is he still hearing like footsteps like crazy outside, or is it?
It's not as running as much as it was, but there's still doors being opened, things getting searched. You can hear footsteps upstairs as well. There's a commotion was made, and they're trying to look for the origination point of it. And you're probably getting the sense that they're not going to stop looking for the origination until they find it.
Kaporan sitting in his cell just making boom noises. Boom!
You actually didn't hear a damn thing.
Wow,
Did we hear anything?
You guys during the fight, probably not.
Yeah, I'd imagine it wasn't that loud.
But yeah, even when Richa was over there, and even after the guy had left you, Kaporan, you get the sense that sound does not travel through the door at all.
Well, great. Well, Kaporan's just gonna keep praying to whatever dial tone goddess he got.
Just bamfs Belladonna into the cell with him and is playing patty cake with her.
Does my magic work in here? That would be so great to have a partner. I figured it wouldn't. It's a cell.
It was worth the suggestion.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Richa, minor illusion wouldn't work here.
Or would Booming Blade work?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was assuming that because of all the.
Yeah, no, I just completely forgot about it. Booming Blade wouldn't have worked either. That's a little too far gone to retcon all the way back.
We'll say Trenton gave me the power for now, for a little bit.
He had pity on us.
The charge shot still would have worked, but the Booming Blade shouldn't, and the minor illusion won't. So we'll go back to that point in time. The doors are starting to open around you. Yours, what do you want to do?
I will then sort of edge my way out the window then, and to the best of my ability. Not necessarily. So I guess I would look out the window first and check what I see.
So, give me a perception check. Looking outside the window, you see people out in the back courtyard kind of looking for the origination point. Looks like 3 Goliath individuals. But looking at this window itself, it doesn't seem to have an opening anywhere. Seeing how Fort Noxie this place is, there's probably not going to be any easy entrance or exits from the outside.
How big is like the space in the back?
In the back courtyard,
Yeah.
altogether, you're looking at probably about 100 feet side to side.
And who's the nearest person?
The nearest Goliath, currently from your position, is probably about a good 40, 50 feet away. They're not like just sitting there combing the grass for stuff. They're kind of like looking briefly around because the amount of noise that was created would suggest something bigger happening. So they're not looking for like, a shell casing in the ground. They're looking more for like scorch marks along a wall type of thing.
Gotcha. Can I pull out one of my walloping needles and sort of try and... Is there enough space in the in the window that I could like cut a hole into it for myself, or no?
I mean, the window's large enough to try and, cut yourself out.
But the time's probably not a lot, huh?
Yeah, to make a clean, not loud cut, probably not.
Then he would just sort of take the butt of his rapier and like as quietly as possible, but still strike it hard enough, break out part of the window, and try and make through it.
Okay. Alright, so you kind of wait for a moment where everyone's as far away from you as you can and just kind of shove the back handle of the rapier through. You end up knocking out a good portion of the pane of glass that you're next to. Each pane is roughly about 2.5 feet, about a 3-foot cube. So you get a majority of that pane broken and pushed out from the other side, and it doesn't seem like anyone's noticed just yet.
He will squeeze through that and then try to find the best place he could to hide.
Okay. Squeezing through, you do get 6 points of slashing damage, as you didn't get all of it out. You're, pressed for time. But you are through and to the other side. You've got the closest Goliath is off to your right. He's about 50 feet away. The next Goliath, you got one that's all the way to the left at the edge of the building, which the edge of the building itself is about 60 feet away. And then you've got one Goliath who is walking the very perimeter of the back gate, or the back wall, which from the building to the wall is about another 45 feet. And he's off to the side, so he's about 80 feet off.
Is there any like bushes or anything nearby?
Yep, there's bushes that run pretty much the entire back of this building.
All right, well, he's going to dip into there and hide for at least a round worth of time to chug the 2 healing potions he has, knowing that, or at least the first one, hoping that it would work, and then if it doesn't work, we'll see.
Healing potions do work.
All right, he's gonna consume both of them then in his little hiding spot.
All right. During this time is when you hear through the bush and the open paned window two people burst in through the door into the room that you were just in, kind of look around and not see a damn thing because they're blind as shit.
Man, do I have a story for you about my real life about that? But that's a different time. But so if nobody's noticed him, he's probably going to stay there for a, a beat, just to see if like things die down. But if they continue looking for like longer than a minute or two, like just to see like a all clear, and he doesn't hear an all clear, he's gonna look towards the second story of the building. And is there anything that like presents itself as something?
A way to get up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. As far as the search goes, unfortunately, since the Goliaths didn't see anything in that room, they don't know what or where something happened that made all that noise. So the search continues. But this back courtyard area, at once having 3 Goliath individuals, now only has 1, as they felt they have thoroughly searched it enough to where they don't need 3 people back here, and they're searching other places. Perception check for the second floor stuff. Looking, kind of peeking your head out from the bush a little bit and staring up and down the wall, doesn't seem to be anything drastically sticking out like, oh, here is a lattice work for you to climb up, or here is a perfectly placed sculpture that can be climbed to the second floor. The stonework is smooth, but you being Racha, you look, and going from windowsills from the first floor and a little overhang that is on top of the windowsill to some of the trim work and possibly the corner of the building, you're not sure, but you could possibly make it up to the second floor, scaling the outside.
He's going to use it now as a check whether magic works or not, but he's going to test his coin purse real quick to see if it's magic still not working.
The magic does work.
It is working back here. If that's the case, then he's going to, in the area of the back courtyard that he's not, that the Goliath is not in, like to the best of his knowledge, he's gonna pull out that orb of gonging, and he's going to go and try and basically like chuck it as hard as he can in the direction of that the Goliath is not in, to hopefully set off like, oh, that was the noise everybody was hearing, kind of a deal. And
okay.
Like somebody's pulling a prank.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength check.
All right, here's hoping for my -1 to go well.
I'll be in that 1, and the gong goes off right next to you.
Oh, it's a 4. But
so you throw it 4 feet. And it kind of lazily rolls on the ground. A couple seconds go by, and the loud, crashing gong noise erupts from this little sphere.
can I extra hide in my bush?
Oh yeah, I'd say you could throw it and hide in enough time. You end up decimating all the windows on the back of this building with the gong noise. Shattered glass rains down as if it was a spring shower. You now have a minefield of glass all around you.
Is that where we're gonna end it for the day?
Sure, we can end it right there.
It's either that or he's basically gonna wait until somebody finds that gong. Is what's
Okay.
gonna happen.
With that, we can end the session there, guys. The only other thing would be Nori. You see on the next match that plays out, it is between a rather ripped and overall fighting body half-elf and this thick, yoked out, large and in charge Aarakocra. And that Aarakocra just wipes the floor with the half-elf. The half-elf gets in about 3 hits. I've got this fight stats done correctly. Yeah, he gets in 3 hits before the Aarakocra snaps his neck.
Is the Aarakocra flying around, or is
Nope.
he...
Nope.
Okay. What type... He's just, like, punching this dude to get death?
Pretty much.
Or does he look kind of barbarian-esque?
Well, I would think punching someone to death is pretty much barbarian-esque.
No, like the rage, half-damage type of thing.
Oh, no, he's outclassing all the people he's fighting.
I would have figured Monk would be the more punching people to death.
Well, that's
I
more
figured
like
that.
rapidly punching people to death. I'm talking like just straight like bar brawl. No real finesse to his stuff that he's doing. He's just better at everything he's doing.
Gotcha,
Well.
gotcha.
I know what I'm going to relay to Bryn, looking very scared.
And with that, we can end the session there. With also, during this whole time, Saren's gone to Club Resilience and gotten his dance on.
Damn, Kapora wants to go there.
You're in jail now, bud.
I might get my head like freaking chopped off. I don't know,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say you're in worse than jail right now.
unknowingly, but metagaming, like Kaporan's scared for his life while he's still praying to his dial tone god.
You're in Dexter's garage right now.
Who the fuck is Dexter?
The serial killer show?
Yeah.
Oh damn! Oh fuck!
And the girls don't know anything.
Nope, and Nori sent him that way.
Nori, this is your fault if I die.
To be fair, I thought you were going to, I don't know, do something over where we were, and that the guards would come this way, and then Richa would go in with them not being around the entrance.
I should just throw my drink in your face.
I fought back.
That was kind of what he was hoping for, at least. But it's like, hey, make a ruckus that these guards have to respond to. Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
that's what I thought, like a fight was gonna break out or something, but
That was my impression as well, but Kaparan went a different direction with it.
You took Kaporan to make a distraction. Kaporan did the most Kaporan thing possible and just threw it overboard.
with the microwave.
Should have just went up and kissed him. Would have really thrown Rich off for a loop, but he would have made that shot.
Rachel would have been like, oh, and like put down in his notes, okay, Kaporan ship, male, check.
That would have solved one problem and given me another.
All right, so any questions about tonight, guys?
Are we gonna die?
Warren gonna get murdered.
Well, in true group fashion, you are all in different places.
Whoop, whoop.
Saren's clubbing. Bryn's back in her room. Nori's scaredly watching the end of this match. Racha is creating the utmost of ruckuses outside. And Kaporin's in Dexter's garage.
To be fair, Racha is, or I guess I'm trying to ask a question. Is did Racha level up?
I don't think you got that much experience from a NPC and a level 1 rogue.
Oh man.
Yeah, you need 11,000 more XP to level up.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Nice try, though. Any other questions?
Oh. Is Saren having fun?
Oh, Saren's having the time of his life.
Awesome.
I want to know why Saren went there.
Saren was bored.
That's weird, but okay.
You don't know Saren.
This is very true.
And none of you know anything about Saren.
You don't know Saren's life.
We haven't even had a chance to ask him what his deal is yet.
He has a life outside of you people.
He's got a life of dance.
He does? Well, I'm surprised.
I just want to dance. Alrighty, so any other questions?
No.
No, but I'm just really happy Bryn hasn't died yet.
Yet, keyword.
Oh, I put it in there, buddy.
I'm so worried, and I can't do shit.
I'm honestly surprised that Bryn survived this long. But I'm so
Me
proud of her.
too.
So, with all that, we'll go ahead and end the session. It was an interesting one. Progress made in 2 different respects, so we'll see how it all ends up coming to a pinnacle next Monday. Monday will probably be our last one because Thursday is obviously New Year's Eve. I mean, not New Year's, Christmas Eve. So we'll probably do Monday. Anybody's schedules conflict for the 28th?
I'm free for that one.
What day of the week is that?
That'd be not the coming Monday, but the Monday after.
Yeah, I'm good for that one.
Yeah, it'll be late at night. I'll be fine.
I'm good.
Yeah, should be fine too. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the 21st, then we'll skip, obviously, Christmas Eve for everybody. Then the 28th, and then we'll probably skip the 31st as well, so everyone can have New Year's and have some fun.
Sounds good to me.
All right, and so with all this skipping and everything going, on January 4th, if it's all still good to go, no one's still recuperating. Some people need a few days after New Year's to recuperate. January 4th, it will be the day for cameras. New Year's, new cameras, new stream. We're good to go.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, after coming back from winter break, teaching 3rd grade, it's fine.
Note to Bryn, make sure she gets a nap in before D&D.
And coffee.
Yeah, I tell myself that a lot, guys. Let me tell you how often it happens.
1 out of 10 times.
Maybe.
Alrighty, guys. So we got our schedule set. If you guys do have any questions that I can answer, feel free to message me, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If I don't talk to you all before then, you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you all Monday.
Night.
Night, guys.
Night.
Night.
And thank you all for those who came to watch and be with us. You have a great night.